first I want to get into, bro, Jacob Blake, another unarmed black man gunned down. This time, bro, this was tough for me to watch because literally his kids were in the car. His back was turned, 7 shots to the back. Watching that, you're not numb to it because it gets crazier and crazier each time. I thought George Floyd was pretty bad. I couldn't even watch half of that. But this time I tuned in. I'm like, it can't be happening again. What were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's just exhausting, right? I mean, that's the thing is, you obviously know. I haven't seen the video. I've seen the thumbnail. I've seen like the Twitter autoplay, when you're on Wi-Fi and whatnot. But I'm quick to let that thumb work and slide past. I don't need to see it. I can imagine. I can envision. And I can believe. I mean, you could write that out on paper, and I wouldn't need to see the video to know that it probably happened. Yeah, man, it's crazy, right? It's like, how do we explain this mess? I mean, like, how could you possibly explain this stuff? And like you said, like, the fact that kids were there, it's just like, it's as the common saying goes, like, it wasn't so sad, it'd be funny, because it's just like it's so beyond logic to most people that it's like, but hey.
It's like, to me, like, I have police officers that are friends now, like Brandon Bridge. He's a great friend of mine. He's a police officer. My old coach in football, he was a police officer. But like, even with that being said, I understand that there are so many things that go on, especially right now. Something needs to be done about the police, man. Like, honestly, something needs to be done. I love those guys, but not all of them are bad, but it's out of control now, especially in the States. Like, there are laws, like, I was reading up on this, there are laws that protect them from getting prosecuted in these kind of events. Like, their union has got to be the strongest union known to man, because they know nothing can happen to them. What do you think? I know LeBron's working on it, but what do you think is the first step to righting these wrongs? Like, it's a weird question, but like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, we're trying everything. What's next?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. So I'm of a few minds, and one is to be very careful of how I criticize unions, because unions themselves are good, but these public sector unions, and especially policing, I mean, I think it's the number one example, are so flawed. I mean, they're not there to help. I mean, they're there to help their employees or the people, their workers, but it's obviously just gone so far. There's a great Patriot Act on Netflix with Hassan Minhaj. He does a pretty great job of talking about, the broken policing system and how the training and everything goes. It's a nice, easily digestible one. It's 22 minutes. He's got jokes if anybody wanted to take a peek. It's a fun
actually,
one.
I will check that out right after.
It's pretty great. It's easy. And it does talk about the unions, talks about their training and everything like that. And that just says, it's like the unions themselves make them unassailable. And you know that. I mean, imagine if we went into a locker room when we played together in Edmonton, knowing that no matter what happened, coach could not bench us, coach could not cut us, coach could not do anything. Yes, 100%. You'd be getting told to run another clear out route, and you would just be like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna stand right here.
Right.
And so you think about that and extrapolate it over hundreds of years, and plus the militarization of other police forces, plus crime rates, plus politicians and all the rhetoric around, the anti-drug, the war on drugs, and the war on the ghettos in general. Plus redlining and sticking people, stop and frisk, all these different policies that have gone through, plus the fact that as a cop that you can't get in trouble. You literally can't get fired. You think about Messiah Jury, that cop was on administrative leave for the last, I think, how long has it been? Almost a year? Getting paid over $140K, I saw, which was like 60 or 70% of his regular salary, because he said that his head still hurts from the altercation, from getting pushed by the big bad man in the suit. So you can see.
And then we saw the body cam footage, and what really happened is, like, you're blatantly lying, and now you're getting paper, now you're getting exposed, and then the police department stood by him even after the video. Like, that's the part of the problem. You know what I mean?
And that's just it. I mean, that is the problem. That's why I shy away from words like reform, like police reform and all that. It's like, no, I think you need to strip it down. Like, if you had a building that the actual, pillars and metal framework was like rotting and rusted, you wouldn't just try to put new brick on the outside. You would be like, all right, well, this land's worth a lot, so let's take it all down and build it back up. Like, abolishing the police does not mean let's run around in a lawless state, like chickens with our head cut off and just hope it all works out. It's about taking it all down, thinking about how we can do this, you know, with communities in mind and actually helping people rather than being reactive. It's the most reactive public service there is, you know. Like even the healthcare system tries to get ahead of stuff.
No, that's a great analogy that you use, and oftentimes, like when like you're dealing with a mental health situation, you really need a guy to show up with a gun. Like it's like we need real professionals to in different situations. So I think a lot needs to be assessed, and a lot of people are, you know, kind of being awoken by everything that's going on.